more strawberry blonde, and her eyes were green. Footsteps sounded in the hallway behind them before the screen door opened. "Sorry, the hospital called." Fliss stopped, her mouth rounding. Not again. Neve moved to take hold of the tray of iced cupcakes that tilted in the local doctor's hands. Yes, again. She set the tray on the nearby outdoor table. They'd have afternoon tea before she attempted Mission Impossible to return the donkey and pony to their paddock. This time they didn't just eat the hedge. I was sure the extra row of electrical tape would work. I was too. Fliss ran a hand through her glossy, dark hair. It's time your free-spirited duo met their match. If Denham and Tanner can sort out that chestnut bully of old Clary's, then they can handle the big-eared donkey and pretty boy pony. Thanks, but Denham's busy with his wedding, and I've not met Tanner. She poured water into a plastic cup. I'll work it out. It didn't feel right relying on others. Usually she was the one offering to problem-solve and to help. Life had taught her to be self-sufficient. After her father had died, when he'd fallen from a ladder, it had only ever been her mother and her, and for a too brief while, her grandmother. Fliss helped Kate into a chair before passing her a cupcake on a blue plate. Tanner's home from droving, and Denham would welcome any distraction from working out table seating arrangements. I couldn't ask Denham. It isn't just the wedding keeping Cressy and him busy, they're also getting ready to go away for their honeymoon. Which leaves Tanner. He'd be able to keep Bassie and Dell in their paddock, and work with them to make them easier to handle. Fliss smiled at Maya and Kate. Bassie's also supposed to be broken in. You'd like to ride him, wouldn't you? Both bright heads bobbed. Neve didn't realize she was chewing her bottom lip until Fliss glanced at her. She turned away to sit beside Maya. I'm sure Tanner knows what he's doing, but it's fine, really. To her relief, Fliss also sat, and the conversation lapsed. Wings whooshed as a flock of cockatoos landed in the old gum tree that threw shade across the trampoline. Dell and Bassie weren't the only ones who'd been eyeing off the ripening strawberries. Silence settled over the veranda as everyone enjoyed the cupcakes iced in white and sprinkled in edible pink glitter. The girls liked baking, and Neve made sure they cooked recipes that reminded them of their mother. A mouthful of cake lodged in her throat. One day she'd cook her own mother's favourite vanilla cake recipe. Avoiding Fliss's gaze, she stifled a cough and reached for her water. Her new neighbour was far too perceptive and had already done enough to help her keep busy. 3 months ago, she'd organised for Neve to look after the girls 5 days a week until Graham found a more permanent arrangement in the spring, and before Maya started school. Kate giggled as Dell plucked a fresh carrot from the garden bed, and Bassie tried to steal it from her. Fliss laughed softly. I know those two are incorrigible, but they really are cute. Neve joined in with the laughter. I'll remind myself of how adorable they are when it takes me at least an hour to get them into their paddock. I can help. Fliss selected another cupcake. I'm not on night duty, so I'm not in a rush to get home. Fliss and pickup rider Hewitt lived at nearby Bandara, and the house Neve rented was on their second farm. It was no coincidence she'd chosen the small town of Woodley to move to. Bandara had been her mother's family home, and she lay buried alongside her parents in the historic local cemetery. Thanks to kind and generous Fliss, Neve had since been a frequent visitor to the Bluestone homestead she'd visited as a child. Sometimes the memory of her mother's laughter would echo as she walked through the high-ceilinged rooms. The summer scent of white gardenias took her back to eating Anzac biscuits on the cool veranda with her grandmother. Neve took hold of the empty water jug, which means you can spend a quiet night in with Hewitt. Wouldn't that be wonderful? He's been working late on the new Adventure playground, so I've barely seen him. Fliss's hazel eyes searched her face. Are you sure? She nodded, ignoring the way Bassie threw her a sly, sideways look. There would be a battle of wills as soon as her boots hit the lawn. Fliss dug in her jeans pocket for her phone. Neve stood and headed inside before Fliss could again mention Tanner and offer to text him. If she was honest, there was more to her refusal to enlist his help than her ingrained independence. If Denham wasn't so busy, she'd probably ask him, but Tanner was a definite no. Tanner Was wood...